who's your coach?
Let's see, where am I? Renee.
Renee, awesome. Okay, cool. What's your experience with breath work?
I haven't been exposed to a whole lot, but yeah, I've done a lot of body stuff, and I've done some Tai Chi and Qigong and stuff.
Perfect. There's a lot of breath woven into that for sure. Yeah. It's part of it. Okay. Well, I think actually I'm going to switch gears, and rather than going into what I was going to go into, because this will kind of go to what you were inquiring about, Janice. So when we breathe, number one, most people just breathe into the upper chest, right? So through this program, through your different practices, you're learning that we really want to use the full expanse of our lungs and rib cage, and especially the lower lungs. Like, this is where all of the magic happens, when we can drop our diaphragm and let our lungs expand, and let our thoracic you're learning that we really want to use the full expanse of our lungs and rib cage, and especially the lower lungs. Like, this is where all of the magic happens, when we can drop our diaphragm and let our lungs expand, and let our thoracic let our rib cage expand. Then we can get more oxygen-rich blood flowing through our veins. We can activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is going to calm us down, as opposed to just staying in the activated sympathetic state, which is the emergency state, which is pretty much what you cultivate by only breathing short, shallow breaths. So by breathing deep, you do so much. Oxygen-rich blood through the body and the brain, especially, and calm the nervous system by activating the nervous system parasympathetic neuroreceptors. Okay, so it takes some practice for a lot of people, because most humans, in this day and age, spend a lot of time sitting, and that often is with poor posture, and there's a lot of compression and a lot of constriction suddenly in that whole region that we really want expansion, right? So muscles get tight, tissues get tight, breath gets shallow, and we miss all of that great stuff that I just told you about a moment ago, right? So there actually has to be some retraining of the body in order to be able to breathe to our maximum potential. And so some people, when they start breathing deeply, it's uncomfortable. Their ribs just don't stretch, their lungs don't stretch, they're not used to all that oxygen. All sorts of kind of different things can happen initially, right? So just know that that's part of the deal. It's going to take some time to get your body used to this sort of lower lung and lower rib cage expansion. Is that all making sense so far? So that being said, that's why it's so important to be physically active, and to be aware of your posture when you're walking, when you're sitting, so that we do less of this, because this tightens everything up and it makes our diaphragm very weak. We want a strong diaphragm that can drop low, and allow the rib cage to expand. And Janice, that's why I've given you and all the retreat people that assignment of, inspirational muscle training. So let's just for a moment, can we stand up for a moment? So whenever you're sitting or standing, I want you to be more aware of this part of your torso, right? So When you're standing, often we round our shoulders, right? Generally, we let our arms kind of hang forward. Sometimes, different people tilt their tailbone back or forward. One of the easiest ways to open the front of your body is to do two things. Turn your palms forward and bring the weight back into your heels. When you bring the weight into your heels, it automatically makes you engage your core and kind of lift up a little bit. So just notice the difference of when your weight is forward in your feet. You can kind of be lazy in the front of the body. When you bring your weight back into the heels, you have to activate a little bit more, right? So palms forward, weight in your heels. And then if you can, just kind of draw your shoulder blades together behind you a little bit, right? Just feel that. All right, and I don't expect you to like walk around like this, but you can definitely be more aware when you're standing in line to not be lazy and let your weight come forward. Keep your weight back in your heels. And keep your chest lifted.
You a little bit, right?
Right, you look stronger, you feel stronger.
Right?
It's a more confident pose, and it's going to help you from not
You
just
can definitely be
continuing
more
to just
aware
round
when you're
over
standing
time.
in line.
Okay, so that's one way to just start kind of very subtly expanding this area. The other is to just kind of simply take some nice stretches
look stronger
to get into those muscles in between the ribs.
and it's going to help you from
Okay, these are called intercostal muscles.
Standing in line.
So doing things where you
one
can
way to start
stretch
kind of very subtly
and create space.
The other is to just
Feels good too.
And it does feel good. It feels really good. And then if it feels okay, maybe you take your hands behind you and you just lift.
Intercostal muscles.
And if your hands don't reach, you can always grab like a little towel or a strap or something. Okay, so you can probably just notice right there, and then breathe. So while you're in this posture,
And then if it feels
breathe
okay,
in through your nose if you
take your
can.
hands behind
You
you
don't have
and you just
congestion.
lift. It's called intercostal muscles.
Let it go. Yeah, that's a good sign. And then you can release your hands. Just those three movements, this, and this, are a great thing to do just often, right? And then another thing, just for kind of like torso mobility, which is helpful, is to just kind of take some twists and try to keep your hips still and try to let most of the twist
Those three movements, and this are a great thing to do just often, right? And then another thing
can
is
come back to center.
torso
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a
helpful.
little side stretch, and then we're going to focus
and try
on
to,
the side that's
try to
open.
keep your hips still.
Right, so we're going to
And try to let
focus
most of the twist,
on,
those three movements.
let's just go ahead and take our right arm up and
Are
over.
a great thing to do just often, right?
And I want you to
And then another
focus
thing is kind of
on
like,
breathing into
so
the
now
lower
what we're going
right
to do is we're going to take a little side stretch.
Okay, so this arm can help stabilize by being pressed against the leg. If this arm ever gets tired, you could put the hand behind the head.
Let's just go ahead and
Okay,
take
and I
our
want
right
you,
arm
like,
and over.
weight in your heels,
And I want you to
and I want you to imagine that you could really
on
puff
breathing
up
into the
this
lower.
area, like you can really feel more expansion going into that
This
right
arm can help
side.
stabilize
Inhaling
side to leg. If this arm ever gets tired, you can put the hand on
and exhaling, either through the nose or the mouth, it doesn't matter.
Weight in your heels, and I want you to
Inhaling again, filling up
the
lower ribs.
area, like you can really feel more expansion.
As
going
much
into
breath
that
as you can
right
possibly get in there.
Inhaling,
And then let it
if this
go.
arm ever gets tired, you can put the hand on and exhaling.
And let's do that on the other side.
And I want you, like,
Up and over, your hand wherever it's most comfortable.
inhaling again.
Breathe into the left side. Fill up. Deep breath in through the nose.
More expansion. As much breath as you can possibly get in there. Inhaling.
Let it go.
And exhaling. And let's do that on the other side.
Fill up again.
Up and over, your hand wherever it's most comfortable. Inhaling again. Breathe into the left side.
Let it go.
Fill up. Deep breath into the nose.
Go ahead and come on out.
As much breath as you can possibly get in there. Inhaling.
Let's do what we were doing before. Either you can clasp, or you can also just do this. Either one, whichever one feels better. Open your chest And I want you to breathe into the front of the body, get as deep as you can into this area.
Let it go. Fill up. Deep breath into the nose. Go ahead and come on out.
The key to deep breaths are breathe slow. Give the air time to move into those deep recesses.
Either one, whichever one feels better. Open your chest.
Release whenever you're ready.
And I want you to breathe into the front of the body, get as deep as
And then do that one more time in.
Let it go. Fill up. Deep breath into the nose. Go ahead and come on out. The key
And
to
out.
deep breaths are breathe slow. Give the air time.
And now if it feels okay, I want you to very carefully, slowly start to come forward and just take your hands wherever they're comfortable on the thighs or even the shins or even a chair if you need that instead. Okay, wherever the hands can land. I want you to now bring your weight forward out of the heels, so the opposite of what we were doing before.
And now if it feels okay, I want you to
let your torso hang comfortably as far as you can, and let it release.
Comfortable on the thighs.
And now I want you to breathe into the lower backs of the lungs.
Okay,
imagine that you could fill up
I want you to now
lower backs and then underneath the shoulder blades.
And now if it feels okay, I want you to let your torso hang comfortably.
Fully release it.
And let it release. Comfortable on the side.
And do that again.
Now I want you to breathe into the lower back of the lungs. Okay, imagine that you could fill up. I want you to
your knees slowly roll
and
back up.
underneath the shoulder blades. And now if it feels okay, I want you to let your
do a little bit of this.
Fully release it and let it release. Comfortable on the side. And do that again.
Shake it out.
Into the lower back of the lungs.
And now we're going to do something a little bit more subtle.
You
can come back to a comfortable seat. If you feel like standing, you're welcome to. It doesn't matter.
Do a little bit of this.
We are going to close our eyes though. So, either standing or seated. In a moment, I'm going to have you close your eyes, and without doing the actual stretches that we just did, I want you just to take your attention to the different areas that I named. Okay, so as you breathe, I'm going to say lower right side, and you're going to imagine that the breath is going to your lower right side. As I say, back left. I want you to imagine that the breath is going to back left part
without
your lungs. Okay, there's something, there's a saying that is where attention goes, energy flows. And that comes from kind of like the world of like new agey alternative stuff, but it's actually been proven scientifically that when you have your attention on different parts of your body, it activates parts of the brain that kind of govern that part of the body. So there is science to it. So simply by taking attention to certain places as you breathe, then you can, bring energy, or whatever it is that you believe is going to go to those areas. So standing or sitting tall, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You don't have to. And then I first want us just to take a few deep breaths in and out, filling up the rib cage from bottom to top. Letting it all go.
So, standing or sitting tall, close your eyes if
do that again.
And then I first want us just to take a few deep breaths in and out.
Really. And now I just want you to focus on the right front side of your rib cage. Bottom to top.
Do that again. And then I first want us just to take a few deep breaths in and out.
Really.
And now I just want you to
left
focus on the right
front of your rib cage.
Bottom to top.
Exhale.
And then I first want us to take a few
lower right, back.
And now I just want you to focus on the right
cage
of your rib cage. Bottom to top.
Exhale.
And then I first want us to
lower back,
lower
left.
right,
back.
And now I just want you to focus on the right
cage
of your rib cage.
Exhale.
Bottom to top.
Exhale. Right shoulder blade. Breathe into the top right part of the back.
Lower back,
Lower
right,
back.
And now I just want you to focus on the right
Exhale.
of your rib cage.
Exhale. Top left shoulder blade.
Exhale.
Right shoulder blade. Breathe into the top right part of the back.
Lower back,
Exhale.
back.
And now the whole right side, front and back. Just the right side of the torso, basically.
Top left shoulder blade. Right shoulder blade. Breathe into the top right part.
Exhale.
Of the back. Lower back, lower right. Back.
Left side.
And now the whole right side, front and back. Just the right side of the torso, basically. Top left shoulder blade.
Exhale.
Shoulder blade.
Perfect. And now the entire torso. Imagine that you're breathing like filling up a glass of water. Imagine you're breathing from the lower ribs, front and back, and sides, all the way up to the top.
The right side of the torso, top left shoulder blade.
And then as you exhale, imagine all of that flowing out, bottom to top.
And now the entire torso. Imagine that you're breathing like filling up a glass of water. Imagine you're breathing.
Do that again.
Lower,
fill up lower
ribs, front and back,
torso,
sides,
all the way around.
The right side of the torso, top left.
All the way up.
As you exhale, imagine all of that flowing out, bottom to top. And now the entire torso. Imagine that you're breathing like filling up a glass of water. Imagine you're breathing.
Do that again.
Lower,
fill up lower,
ribs, front
and let's do that one more time.
all the way
Lower,
around. The right side of the torso, top left.
middle,
All the way up. As you exhale, imagine
upper.
all of that flowing out, bottom to top. And
Let's
now
hold
the
for an
entire
extra moment.
torso. Imagine that you're breathing like
And let's let this one flow out our
Do
mouth.
that again. Lower, fill up lower, and let's do that one more time. All the way around.
Beautiful, ladies. Shake it out. Do anything you like.
Upper.
And we're going to chat for just a moment. I'd love to know if you found certain areas easier or harder to breathe into.
Beautiful, ladies.
I would say
Shake it out.
that
Anything you like. Upper.
they're all similar, and I think there's probably room for
I'd love to know if you found
All right. So just by simply doing something like this more often, more intentional breathing.
I absolutely notice that a lot of the time I'm breathing shallow. They're all it's similar, and I think there's probably room for.
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I get up,
All right. So just by
whoa, I really need to
doing something like this
stretch,
more often,
and this doesn't seem to be enough. So I'm glad to be reminded of that, and the arms behind. It's similar.
Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, if you could even just put a little sticky note somewhere that says, you know, do whatever you want to call them. Do those upper body stretch, do the chest opening stretches, do the breathing stretches. Check your, you know, a little alarm that goes off every once in a while. If you work on my calendar.
You could even just put a sticky note somewhere.
Yeah, that kind of stuff helps. Stand-up desks really help too if you're somebody who works a lot.
Do the chest opening stretches. Do the breathing stretches.
And what about you, Janice? Did you notice any areas?
The upper shoulder took a little longer
Stand up
to
desk.
get there.
Yeah, we're not used to focusing on that place when we're breathing. So you were asking earlier about, like, you know, your doctor was recommending that you sleep on your side. So what I would recommend is when you do sleep on your side, maybe just focus on the most open part. So focus on this top side.
Yeah, we're not used to,
You know, if this bottom side feels at all constricted. You know, and also just breathing slower. Like I said, you know, you can give yourself time to let the air move into those places that it might normally not get to because you're so busy getting on the next exhale.
Yeah, we're not used to, you know, if this bottom side is up,
You know, yeah.
That was good, yeah.
you know, and also just
Like truly this is something that you just return to and try and practice, let the air create reminders for yourself all the time. Like I've been practicing and teaching yoga for 20 years now, and I still have to remind myself, breathe deep. You're not breathing deep right now. You've been working, you know, at this computer for 3 hours and you're breathing shallow. You have to let go of like that sort of stuff. Reminders.
Good.
And you can always exhale out your mouth. Like that's a good stress relief is out the mouth. Yeah, like you can make noise, you know, audible sighs, that kind of stuff feels great. Let's all do it together. Inhale.
And you can always exhale out your mouth. Like that's good stress relief is out the mouth.
Even that, the activation of your vocal cords activates the vagus nerve, which tells your nervous system, relax. That's why singing is so good, because it does all this stuff. See, you're already ready for a nap, Janice. It's wonderful.
Even that, the activation.
So whatever you can do, so let's just all share a little information. Jamie already said maybe putting a reminder in her calendar. What are you going to do, Janice, so that you remember to check in with your posture and breathe deep?
Even that, the
I'm thinking about
so whatever you
putting
can do,
some reminders in my watch or my phone, like 4 times a day for different things. You know, I have a variety of things that I would like to do 4 times a day. For instance, Zach's exercise, this, and my watch or my phone. And you know, I drop down 4 times a day, so you know, it would be good to just have those 4-time reminders.
Yep, absolutely. I definitely recommend that. And you know, so please do that. You can also use the portal, and you can ask your coach, or I know
you know, it would be good.
Not with Carol at the moment, but I can help you with this. You can set, you can use metrics in the portal. There's the metrics tab on the left that lets you set reminders, and they're accountability reminders.
You can also use
the
portal.
Yeah, so like, for example, you can set it to say, have you stood up in the last 3 hours? And you set that one to go like every 4 hours or whatever, something like that. And then you have to answer one for yes or 0 for no. And so it actually tracks it. So you have a little bit of a visual like accountability source. So you can use the portal in that way. You can either set it up
and that's under metrics. I wonder if that will still be applicable alive when I'm going to be ending my month.
When are you done?
I don't know, in a week.
In a week, portal in that way. You can either
I wonder if that will.
You should have 1 month past your end date of the program to use to be active in the portal. You can access everything forever, but as far as using that, you'll have 1 month. So maybe do it for a month. Get yourself in a good group.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Go into metrics, and you'll see one that says binary, and it'll walk you through the whole thing.
Binary. Okay.
Yeah, binary, yes, no, basically.
You'll have 1 month. So maybe do it for a month.
Okay, so I love that. Reminders, and then just get into the groove. This is how we create the neural connections and new behavior changes by repetition, repetition, repetition. You can also have a buddy, you know, check in with your, if you know somebody else who's working on kind of stuff, like me and my friend Anita, we sent one of us has to ding the other every day to do breath work.
Okay, I'm looking under here, under metrics.
You can also have a buddy.
A whole lot
check in
of
with your
things.
If you know somebody else who's working on kind of stuff, like
how do I find the one I'm looking for?
One of us has to ding the other every day.
It's showing me my grid for my
okay, I'm looking
data
under here, under metrics.
How do I find add metric things?
If you know somebody else who's working on.
So let's see. Let me go to. I'm just gonna. I think my friend Amanda will be okay with me opening.
It's showing me my grid.
So if you go to metrics,
binary. Plus metric. Okay.
Yeah, plus metric.
So let's see.
Are you looking for it too, Janice? Do you want instruction, or do you want to wait? I can help you with it another time.
I'll wait just because.
If you go to metrics,
you can use your phone.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Either way, what I like about the metrics, but what I like about using the portal is because it makes you answer a question. It makes you say whether or not you did it, and that is like, it's an accountability.
It just has an everyday. It doesn't have like times during the day.
Either way, what I like about
it will. What I like about so if I click on binary, so which type? So I'll just say breathing, and that is like, and then when it says when, it can for however long, and then it says how often. So then you can click on the.
I got every. That's the most.
Pick the days, how many days, which days. You can also put it.
And then when it says when, You can
for
however
an arbitrary
long, and then
basis.
it's
So
how
you pick
often.
out,
So then you can click on the
I got
binary,
every.
and then
so which type.
Uh,
Yeah, pick the
if you
days,
want
how
to
many
do it,
days,
let's see,
which
and then
day.
it reminders.
You can
It'll
also
ask
and then when it
you
says,
at what time to remind you to do it, and then it'll
for
ask you
however
via
arbitrary
email or
days, and then it says
text.
so
So
you
you
pick
pick
out.
out,
You can click on the
and then finish up,
yeah.
and that just takes you through
If
it.
you
So
want to do it,
you have to
and then
make a
it
new metric
reminders.
for
So it'll
every
ask
single
you,
thing
at what time to
you
remind
want
you to do
it to
it,
check
and
in
then
on.
for however
So you might
arbitrary
have to
days,
set up a
so you pick
few
out.
different ones. If
on days when a value should be under
and
me. I'm
then
sorry.
finish
yeah,
up.
that's fine. That is
If you want
um,
to make, you have to make a new metric for every
I
single
just
thing you want it to check in on.
I just leave it
So you might have to
selected on
set
that.
up a few
Okay.
different ones.
Okay, but you can't do it multiple times a day.
Yeah, that's
You have to
fine.
set
That
up another
is,
metric for another time of day.
you have to make a new
Oh, I
metric
see.
for every
Okay.
So you
Gotcha.
could set
Yeah.
a morning, afternoon,
I
evening.
just leave it selected on that.
But once they're set up, they're set up.
Different ones.
Okay,
You know,
but you can't do it
this is really
multiple
good to
times
know.
a day.
Yeah, that's you have to set up another metric
Just
for
as
another time
a
of day.
recommendation,
Oh,
uh,
So
to
you
go
can set,
through
you can set
the
a morning, afternoon,
uh,
evening. I just leave it selected on that. But once
all of
they're set
the,
up, they're set up. Different ones.
not all of them, but more of the things that are available and how to use them,
You have to
like
set up
this
another
metrics,
metric
I would
as
never have
a
gone to. Recommendation.
Yeah. And there's
go through the set a morning, afternoon.
there's like in the beginning when you're all signing up, you're just getting so much stuff. We do send out
Not
like,
all of
you
them,
know,
but
tips and
more of the
resources that
things
say
that
all
are
this stuff.
available
But
and how to use them,
yeah,
like
our
this
coaches, the
metrics,
coaches should
I
talk a
would
little
never
bit
have
more about
gone
it.
to.
Sometimes we don't want to overwhelm a
Yeah,
lot
there's
with too much tech.
set a morning,
Yeah.
there's
Tech makes
like
people
in
a
the
little
beginning
crazy.
when you're all
But
signing
yeah,
up, you're
you got metrics. There's a journal
send out
feature in there.
like, tips and resources.
So if you want to use like a journal and you don't have to share it with your
Yeah,
coach, you can make it private or you can
more about
share.
it. Sometimes we
Those are like the main things
yeah, there's
that
too much
we
tech.
or actions.
Tech makes
Like
people
if you want your coach to
but yeah,
give you like
you
a
got
homework
metrics, there's a
assignment
journal feature in there.
and you want to be able to
You want to use like a journal,
check
you
it
don't have
off
to
when it's
share it.
done.
You can make it
You can do
private.
actions. You can set yourself your own homework
Those are like the
assignment. So
main
that's just
things
another tab over here on the left. Next to metrics is action.
Like if you want your
Yes.
coach to give you like a homework assignment.
So yeah, I would
you want
mess
it
around a little
able
bit.
to
It's
check
also good learning
check
new
it off
things.
when it's
You
done.
know, it's
You
one
can
of
do
those things for your
actions.
brain.
You can set
There's
yourself
just
your
a
own
wealth of
homework assignment. So
information.
that's just another
You could
tab
sit
over
in
here on
front
the
of your
left.
computer all
Next to
day.
metrics is action.
Right, which we don't want you to do. We want you to get out and
We
do
need more of
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would mess around a little bit.
Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember to stretch these lower lung muscles.
Sit in front of your computer all
Yeah, the shoulder blades. Yeah.
Right, which we
And
don't
that.
want you to do.
You know, this is just a good general
Need more
move.
of
You get a
that.
big
Yeah.
strap and you can go back and forth.
Well, ladies, thank you for joining me
Real
today.
good.
I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember.
All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go and I'll see you next time for yoga or meditation or breathwork.
Shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Right, which we
Thank
don't
you.
want you to do.
Bye,
You know, this
ladies.
is just a
Bye.
good general move. You get a big
Yeah.
strap and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go and I'll see you next time for yoga or meditation or breathwork.
Shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Right, which we don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go and I'll see you next time for yoga or meditation or breathwork.
Yeah.
Right, which we don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go and I'll see you next time for yoga or meditation or breathwork.
Yeah.
Right, which we don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go and I'll see you next time for yoga or meditation or breathwork.
Yeah.
Right, which we don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you next time for Feel Go meditation and breathwork. Yeah, right. Which I don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap, and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you next time for Feel Go meditation and breathwork. Yeah, right. Which I don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap, and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you next time for Feel Go meditation and breathwork. Yeah, right. Which I don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap, and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you remember. All right, ladies. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you next time for Feel Go meditation and breathwork. Yeah, right. Which I don't want you to do. Bye, ladies. This is just a good general move. You get a big strap, and you can go back and forth. Well, ladies.